The Chief's office and officers and members of Hose Company No. 1 regret to announce the passing of Honorary Commissioner and 67-year member, Eugene Kelly. Honorary Commissioner Eugene Kelly answered his last alarm on November 23, 2023. He was waked at Flinch and Brune's funeral home in Lynbrook. Department services, led by First Assistant Chief Scott Bean, were held on the evening of November 28. After a memorial service on the morning of November 29, 2023, and conducted by Fire Department Chaplain Kevin McCormick, Commissioner Kelly was buried at Holyrood Cemetery, with full military honors, as a former U.S. Marine who fought in the Korean War. Eugene Francis Patrick Kelly, son of Harriet Gibson Kelly and Eugene Kelly Sr., was born on August 13, 1931 in Donaldsonville, Georgia. He relocated to Long Island as a young boy and made Lynbrook his home. He graduated from Lynbrook High School in 1949, and soon after joined the United States Marine Corps, where he proudly served in the Korean War. Upon his return, he joined the Lynbrook Fire Department, where he served proudly as a member of Hose Company No. 1. He was a member of Lynbrook's Rescue Squad, and rose through the ranks, eventually serving as chief of the department in the 1970s. He earned many accolades and distinctions throughout his time within the department, but becoming a life member and honorary commissioner were among his proudest achievements. In 1959 he married the love of his life, Joan Baldwin, and went on to have 3 daughters. He worked for Shell Oil Company for many years, until he decided he wanted to be his own boss and purchased a Boar's Head route. After Joan's death in 1988, Gene retired and moved down to sunny Florida, where he spent his days playing golf and traveling. In 1994 he married his second wife, Lillian Trethaway. After his golfing days were over, he decided to spend his time volunteering as a route driver for Meals on Wheels in Citrus County, where he continued to volunteer until the age of 89. After Lillian's death in 2020, Gene decided to move back to Long Island to be closer to his family. He was predeceased by both of his parents, his sister Ruth Harwell and her husband Richard Harwell, and his nephew Mark Harwell. He is survived by his 3 daughters, Nancy Lyons and her husband, Donald, Susan Heinrich and her husband, John, and Carrie Smith and her husband, Brian. He was a loving grandfather to Tyler, Scott, Gregory, Emily, Olivia and Caroline, and a great-grandfather to Madison and Mason. Gene will be deeply missed, but as we remember him, we celebrate a life that was well lived. His life was marked by service, to both his country and his community, and a life that was filled with compassion and his kindness.